bunch of English-speaking people and my 26 subscribers. What a fantastic number. We're almost at 1 million. Anyway, here you can see where I live, okay, and we're on our way to see Simona. As you can see, it's the time of year for figs. I don't know if you can see them there, all around there, and the time of the year for olives, which are just here. Not mentioning grapes. This is a wine region as well. So we're going to go to Simona now to understand how to make a piadina. The word piadina comes from the name piada, and piadina would be a small piada in Italian. It comes from the Greek, and I can't remember exactly the word, but it means basically long plate. Okay, so piadina would be a small long plate or a small plate. So we've arrived. Now let's just get out of the car. Okay, here we are. Okay, let's go and see what Simona has in store for us. Okay, so. Ciao Simona, ciao, ok, come va?
Tutto bene?
Benissimo,
Tutto bene.
benissimo. Ok, quindi oggi ci fai la piadina?
Sì,
Perfetto.
sì.
Ok, adesso se riesci spiegami un po' cosa vuol dire la piadina per te.
Ma non dirmi Justin che tu non conosci la piadina. Allora, la piadina è il pane della Romagna.
Ok.
Pensa che i miei genitori andavano, prima di andare a lavorare, facevano la piadina, ma alle 6 di mattina, perché era il loro pane per fare colazione, per fare il pranzo e per la cena.
Okay, so what she's saying basically is that the piadina was made a little bit like bread, but even better than that, because it's such a cheap way of making bread. They used to make it in the morning for breakfast, at lunchtime, and in the evening. So it was something that was really made as though you'd make cereal. You'd go to the shops and make cereal, or make cereal, put milk on the cereal. So it was really something that was in their blood at that time. Okay, so.
È un mangiare povero perché si fa con pochissimi ingredienti e lo possiamo fare tutti.
Perfetto,
non serve essere panettieri.
Okay, right, so she's saying that everybody can do it, so there's no excuse. I'm going to follow her with my board and we'll see how it goes. Okay, to start off with, we need the apron, okay. Which brings me to the next thing. The first sponsor. Okay, so Sapignoli, that does the flour, has sponsored us with 2 packets of 1. Okay, not 0 or 00, but flour 1, type 1. So I'm going to show you that there. So this is actually a lot better than even 0, which I was doing on the other video. Okay, so we're going to be using this, and we're going to see how it comes out. See you in a minute. Right, ok Simona, cos'è che usiamo per fare la piadina?
Sono ingredienti semplicissimi. Farina di tipo 1, un po' di sale, acqua calda, un po' di bicarbonato di sodio e ho messo lo strutto perché una volta nelle famiglie avevano gli animali e quindi dagli animali, dal maiale soprattutto, ricavavano lo strutto e usavano quello. Io oggi uso l'olio di oliva, che si può usare tranquillamente e rimane più leggera.
Okay, perfetto. What we're going to be using here is, said from Simona, so we're going to be using flour, obviously. We're going to be using a little bit of salt. What they used to use was lard, okay? That was because the animals were always around, and so there was always a lot of lard to be used. So they used to use lard, but she's going to do it for me today. In fact, she always does it now with oil, because as well they have olive groves here, so it's a little bit more accessible. So I would recommend regardless oil, which she said it remains a little bit lighter, so the piadina comes out a lot better. We need bicarbonate of soda and warm water. Like she said, it is actually quite warm. It's sort of halfway between cold and boiling. Okay, and I guess a fork. I don't know what that's for, but we'll find out. Right, so what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to follow along with Simona. What we've already said is that she's going to start doing it with lard, which is obviously the original version, and she's going to tell me how to do it with oil. So we've got the vegan, vegetarian version or whatever it is, okay? Right, Simona.
Iniziamo. Farina.
Okay, farina. So we're both using one or one?
One.
Okay. We're both using one packet.
600-700 grammi.
Okay, so 600 to 700 grams, which obviously Simone has
Fai
got
una
a good eye
montagna.
for. I'm going to make the mountain.
Ok.
Okay, right, so obviously I've got around about 200-300 grams left in my packet.
Vai fuori al centro.
Okay,
Vai.
right, so this is the
Sei
way
bravo,
to do it.
Sei bravo.
Okay.
Fino adesso tutto ok.
Up till now everything's okay.
Allora,
Right.
sale. Sale. Ok, un po' tu.
Okay, so I'm
In
taking
base a se uno lo
pinch.
vuole molto salato o poco salato, si
Okay,
regola
so
col
she's saying
sale.
that you can do it a lot and you can do a little, so it just depends on how good you want it. So I'm basically covering the hole that I've made. I can see that she's done.
Io vado a
basically
occhio,
that.
non
Okay.
peso.
Ok.
Tu metti l'olio, allora io metto lo strutto e tu vai con l'olio. Vai, vai, vai. Ancora, ancora. Ancora. Ok. 2 cucchiai saranno?
Two tablespoons.
Il
Right.
bicarbonato. Io vado sempre a occhio.
Okay, so she's saying she does it by
Qua.
feel.
Lo metto attorno, un altro pochino. Sempre
Okay.
ad occhio.
It seems almost like the same
Vai,
quantity
vai.
as salt.
Sì? Ok.
Okay. Right. So
Questo.
you're going to do it
Acqua calda.
Now, hot water.
Vai con l'acqua al centro. Forchetta.
I'm going to get the fork.
Sì. E poi stop. Poi inissi.
Okay, so she's doing it from the middle. I can see that.
Non deve crollare la montagna.
The mountain mustn't crumble, okay? So
Allora, pian piano, con la forchetta, tu prendi un po' di farina e la fai cadere
okay,
nel
so she's saying
cratere.
as you go on, you start to get the flour moving into the middle, okay? Try not to make the mountain crumble.
In questo
okay?
modo l'impasto ti rimane tutto qua e riesci a impastare bene.
Okay, so she's just saying basically
Io aggiungerei un altro po' di acqua
a better way of making sure that it doesn't get messy.
e continui.
Okay, so slowly but surely. For those like me, it's a little bit like mixing cement. Okay?
Vai, vai, ancora.
Okay. So this can be a little better.
Poi pian piano avvicini la farina con una mano.
Più.
Vai, 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 mettici un altro po' di acqua. È veramente facile, lo possono fare tutti. Sai che a scuola gliela faccio fare, io sono insegnante di scuola dell'infanzia,
sì,
e lo faccio fare ai bimbi, perché queste tradizioni sono da portare avanti. E poi ai bambini piace tantissimo impastare.
Right, so she's saying basically she's a teacher at the kindergarten here, and she teaches them how to make piadina because they like playing around with this sort of thing as well, and it carries on what they've always done in the past. So,
Ok. L'unico accorgimento è la quantità dell'acqua.
okay, the only difference here is the quantity of water. Per quale motivo in che senso?
Perché l'impasto deve avere una certa consistenza
Ok.
per stendere la piadina.
Ok.
Solo per questo motivo qua. Allora, questa parte, Justin, vai, vai, oh!
Ok.
Ammucchia,
So,
prendi la farina
Okay.
e qua,
Okay.
spingi.
So,
Oh.
you've got to push with your thumbs and push with, I guess, the lower part of your palms.
Spingi
Okay,
e
so
raccogli.
thumbs and palms.
Spingi e raccogli.
So
Raccogli
saying,
quella farina.
Press and recuperate. Press and recuperate. Okay.
Bravo,
Bene, ho
bravo,
bisogno
bravo.
di più acqua.
Ancora un altro pochino di acqua.
Sì.
Sì.
Dove la metto?
Ma tu
Qui
te la
o
metti,
là?
no? Tu ti avvicini tutta la farina e ci metti l'acqua qua.
Okay.
Vai.
So I just asked her obviously where I was to put the water because I could be adding it to the pastry or to the leftover flour. So obviously she's told me leftover flour, and so here we go. And then I guess I just gotta push it back in again. And
mi piace il tuo modo di impastare. Però davvero, le nostre nonne avevano questo modo di impastare, con questo movimento.
Okay.
Quindi è questa parte che impasta.
So the base part of the hand, she's saying that all her grandparents and all the rest of it always used to do it in this way. So pushing the pastry away from you, then gathering up all the bits that are left over and carrying on pushing them back in again. Okay, so recuperare.
Va bene, sì.
Okay, perfect. So hers still feels quite dry, and I can still feel the little bits in there from the board, the chopping board. So don't feel like it's got to go as though it's dough for bread or anything like that. I can only imagine a little bit like plasticine or something like that. It's actually got to feel a little bit almost rough. Okay, so it's not completely wet. It's just moving in, so just a bit like plasticine, where when you squish it together you get rid of the little folds and everything like that. And I can see that she's definitely
guarda che io lo sto facendo girare.
Right, so this is how you mix it in, knead it.
Anche
and it seems like
con
she's
una mano
turning.
sola.
Okay, she's turning it around every
Poi
time.
le giro e di qua.
Okay, right.
Perfetto.
Alright. Yeah. I did clean the board before we started. So.
Dai, che hai imparato a fare la piadina.
Okay.
Ok, questo è l'impasto.
So,
Più si impasta meglio è.
più si impasta meglio è, in
Sì.
che senso?
Perché si compatta.
Okay. So she's saying basically the more you knead it, the better it is. Okay. So by the sounds of things, you can't really do this quickly. Well, quickly.
Gli dai la forma allungata
Okay. Then you've
di
got
un
to
salsicciotto.
Okay, then you've got to roll it out so that it looks like a big sausage, more like a haggis actually, I think, if we look at it properly. Okay.
E poi tagli per fare le palline.
Right, okay, so I've got my haggis here, and I'm going to cut it into,
Fai sempre d'occhio, tranquillo, sì sì.
okay, around about that, and I'm guessing because it doesn't matter how big the piadina is, in the end it could be small or big. Okay.
Ok, prendine una e inizi a impastare e fai una pallina.
Okay, so I'm going to get one and I'll start to knead it again. Okay, and make it into...
Mettiamo un po' di farina. Dal tipo di farina, sì.
Okay, so as you might be able to see, this is kind of like a little bit yellow, and it seems to have a few bits in it, which is given by the flour, which now that we're using 1 instead of 0 or 00, is coming out a little bit more yellow. Okay. Right, this is something you don't have in Italy or in England. Okay, it's basically a flat pan. It's very, very thin and made in aluminium. The original ones were done in stone earthenware. Anyway, you can get them all over Italy. I guess you can probably get them in England as well. But if not, write something down and I'll tell you where we can order them. Okay? Bene. Right, she's just told me that she generally speaking doesn't turn it over. Okay, so it literally is just roll it out and turn it round. Roll it out and turn it round. Right, so what she's saying is basically the piadina is served with pretty much everything here in Romagna. Okay, so with salami and that type of meat, dried meat, with salad, and I can certainly back her up. Whenever we've got tomatoes and cucumbers or something like that, the piadina is really good when it's hot. And tomatoes and cucumbers are really cold. It is excellent. So I would recommend it. And if you can do it just a couple of times, it seems like you will probably get the hang of it, and it will be one of those things that you can just make. And if you haven't got bread in the house or something like that, which is highly unlikely for a British person, but if you haven't got bread in the house, it's really good just to make this sort of thing, as it's a real tradition out here, and it will sort of change the way you eat as well. The fact that you're putting in your own flour that you've decided to use, rather than just something that's been bought in the supermarket, and you don't know what sort of flour they are using. So, okay, so
Perfetto!
here we are. It's a little bit rounder. We are getting there. Un po' più rotondo, ma
Va bene, va bene.
Okay.
Si mangia ugualmente.
Right, Simona, cos'è che facciamo adesso?
Abbiamo scaldato la teglia qualche minuto e adesso cuociamo la piadina.
Perfetto. Right, so we've heated up the pan for around about, I don't know, probably 5 minutes. She said a couple of minutes, but anyway, probably about 5 minutes. There it is, getting hot. Next, we put it on the go. Okay. Okay. So surely we're going to eat it. Right. So it's the actual pastry is a little bit sticky. So what you're going to feel is when you turn it, it gets less sticky and quite easy to move about. Okay. And this is the way it starts to cook. Okay.
Allora controlliamo, è ora di girarla. Ha preso già colore, che meraviglia!
Okay, so that's basically what it's supposed to look like. You just got to have a quick look to see what it looks like, and then turn it over when it's got that sort of a browned effect on it. Okay. She whacks it in like a toast rack, which she tells me is not actually necessary. But what happens here, it just means that it stays actually firm. Otherwise, it might get a little bit floppy. Okay, so this is just a way to keep it straight. Okay, now on to the next one.
Subito un'altra! Subito!
Right. Okay, so the next one's on, and exactly the same. The cooking time is probably around about 2 minutes per part. Okay, 2 minutes per side.
Vediamo se si vede la differenza fra lo strutto e l'olio.
Okay, right. Okay, so done that. Got all the piadina in the car. It's now time to go back and try them. Okay, right. So, yeah, that's about it. Now, if you can, subscribe if you haven't already. Press the I like button. Press the bell button. If you've got any questions, write them at the bottom. Always welcome to answer them, and I'll try and write as well. Yeah, on the video I'll probably write exactly the ingredients and the cooking time and all the rest of it. Okay, out from now. Ciao.